are we? Facebook Live. Hello, are you guys there?
Hey!
Hi, Facebook Live.
Colleen Biggs and Dee Daniels here today. We are getting ready to do our radio show, Speak Up to Lead Up, on Voice America Empowerment Channel. You can go follow us out there and bookmark our show and listen to us every week, Wednesday, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're getting ready to start now.
Absolutely.
Twitter at Voice America TRN. Get the lowdown on guests, new shows, and your favorites. That's Voice America TRN.
Now you can take your favorite Voice America radio program with you anywhere. Sign up for our mobile app if you have an iPhone, Android, or Amazon Kindle. The Voice America interactive radio player powered by Aircast gives you the freedom to listen to any of our programs anywhere, live and on demand. No registration is required. Listen to your favorite Voice America hosts and discover new ones. Download the Voice America mobile app for your iPhone, Android, or Amazon Kindle, powered by Aircast. Visit the Apple App Store, Amazon, or Google Play.
Become a member of VoiceAmerica.com. It's easy, and best of all, it's free. Start out by going to our homepage or any of our channels and click register at the top.
Today's show is sponsored by...
Welcome to Lead Up for Women. Speak Up to Lead Up with Colleen Biggs and Sabina Ramsey. Are you ready to lead without permission and take the steps needed to live your best life? Whether you want to start the business of your dreams or celebrate your present and future accomplishments, you're definitely in the right place. Now, here are your hosts, Colleen and Sabina.
Hey there, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening for whatever time zone you are in or whatever country you're in.
That's
I guess
right.
that is where
We're
we're
around the
listening
world
from.
live.
We're around the world live. So welcome to Speak Up to Lead Up. I am your host, Colleen Biggs, and I am joined by my co-host today,
Dee Daniels.
Dee Daniels.
Hi, everybody. We are so excited, and look at Facebook Live. They're popping in.
Yeah, it's great to see you guys. We are running Facebook Live today, so if you guys have any any questions or want to make some comments, please feel free to do that, and we will add them in as we can throughout the show. We just got back from New York City. We had our luncheon there last Thursday. The luncheon was quite a success, Dee.
I know.
We had special guest Robin Hatcher there. As most of you know, she was actually on our show last week as well.
Right.
And we interviewed her, and we're really excited because during the luncheon, she had a lot to share with us, and we'll get into that.
She did.
A little bit just right now. So during the luncheon, she shared with us a lot of information about how you can create your own personal avatar. That was something I remember from the luncheon, and what was interesting about that is she started off by getting up and she played the song Brave by, and I always say this name wrong, is it Bareilles? Is that how you say Sarah's last name? I'm really bad at that.
We're sorry, Sarah.
I know, I think it's Bareilles. Anyway, I love your song, Brave.
The song.
So if you're listening today. So Robin started off with that song and got up and started dancing and invited the ladies to get up and start dancing. It was so much fun. She brought the energy to the room. And as we got into the day, she was talking about being brave and shedding what's trapping you.
Right.
She talked about where are you trapped? Where are you stuck? And some of the women in the room, Stacy Brown spoke up. She said, I've been trapped in this. I'm a mother nurturer. That is my role. I'm trapped in at work. And she said, I have finally shed that.
Okay.
And then she felt free, like she could move on and not have to feel like she had to nurture everybody. I think those are important to shed these trappings that we're in of things that we don't want to be known for. But if from the time we were little, maybe we just fell into that role.
Very empowering, and I think that's one of the things I love about Robin, and I've heard her previously speak, but she's very good at communications, which communications is the basis for everything, which is at the core of what she talks about, is trying to help to teach women, empower them to be able to speak and have a voice, which is what we're all about with Lead Up for Women. Like we say, lead up, you got to speak up and lead up.
Absolutely.
So, it seems like a lot of the women, I saw different women posting about the event and talking about her, that she was very inspiring. And really did help. So, how was it for you being there? I mean, you were there like firsthand. I was working on the other end.
It was wonderful. What I loved about, like I was talking about when I mentioned the avatar. So, and this is really what where Lead Up came from, and what I did. So we get stuck in what she calls fear, right? So we're afraid to throw a dream out into the universe and then pursue it. We have these thoughts that we might want to pursue a dream, but we don't ever take action on it. So it's a dream, right?
Some of us do.
Right. There's no intent. We don't take action on it. So what Robin was explaining was, by having what she explains as fear is the failure to envision an alternate reality. So let's think about that for a minute. Instead of being afraid, what if fear was just our inability to envision what an alternate reality would look like? And so that's why there's vision boards, right? The vision boards are there because we want to envision ourselves sitting and being interviewed on Good Morning America.
Sitting and being interviewed with us.
Sitting and being interviewed with us on the radio. We want to envision our lives sitting on the beach somewhere, or maybe we want to take our entire family on a vacation, and unless we just sit and dream about it, it's never going to happen. But if you throw it out there and you're like, oh, I kind of want to be in this house on this island, and I want to be able to take all the kids, and I want to be able to envision how I do that, then opportunities just start coming to you because the universe pulls.
Right.
So the way that she kind of led into that was, in order for you to be able to shed where you're trapped, look at fear as an alternate reality, you have to be able to envision yourself as being a different person, an avatar, a personal avatar. So she's saying, envision yourself to be when she would step into theater. She was shy, right?
She was.
Right. When she would step into theater, she would become this person that was powerful and commanding, based on her part that she was playing.
Right.
So she stated, as I said the words of this part I was playing in drama, I became more and more like that person. So when I stepped on stage, I wasn't Robin anymore.
Exactly.
I wasn't shy Robin. I was this person I was playing in drama. So that's what women today, if you're afraid, have a personal avatar that you want to become, and put that person on stage every time you walk into a business meeting, every time you need to negotiate with a specific client, whenever you're facing a sales meeting that's going to move your dreams closer, bring that person, you become that personal avatar.
Right. You have to find ways sometimes to help, to empower you and or to motivate you to do some of the things that you may want to do, and you may be a little bit stuck. And sometimes we have to, just kind of reach out. I say, step outside of yourself somewhat, and sometimes we have to get out of our own way so that we can embrace new things and change too.
I learned that lesson well.
I mean, we all have.
Yeah. Well, I did some interviews, and I wanted to play those interviews. So we had those available. And our the first interview that I did, and by the way, while we're live on Facebook and while we're on the radio show, for any of our listeners, please feel free to email us at info@leadupforwomen.com, and we will be sure to answer your questions and get some information back to you for sure. But our first interview that we have is Anna Niavera with Quest Workspaces. And this girl is extremely passionate about assisting others to realize their dreams and advocating for active networking. As you know, that's her work as center manager. And I interviewed her, and if we have that interview ready, then I would love to go and play that interview now.
Do we have that interview?
Do we have that interview ready to play?
Or maybe not?
Yes, I do. What was the name?
Anna Niavera.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, so I'm sitting here with Anna Niavera. And Anna is the center manager for Quest Workspaces. Anna, thank you for being with us today,
And
first of
thank
all.
you for
It's
inviting
wonderful.
me.
So my first question is just tell us a little bit about what you do and why you do it.
Okay, so basically I manage a co-working space in 803rd Avenue to Midtown East. And the reason why I do it, it's actually a great way to meet people and help them grow their business, because that's part of what we do aside from, leasing out the offices there. We have this community wherein we have networking events every month. We encourage our clients, to grow their business and network with one another and other people outside, and it's very fulfilling when you see it's getting bigger and they become successful. So that's one of the reasons why I do it.
I love that. Must be so satisfying.
It is,
for
because
you.
you're helping other people, achieve their dreams and fulfill their goals, which is like something you'd also want for yourself.
Yeah.
So it's good. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Okay.
So tell me, what prompted you to come today to the Lead Up for Women Luncheon here in New York City?
Well, actually, this month is Women's Month, so I've been to several women's events this month, and this was referred by our marketing director, and I was interested when I saw the topic and what it's about, and plus, as I mentioned before when we were having that discussion, I just came here in the U.S. I've actually worked in different countries before, so I started working here a year and 3 months ago. So for me, it's a good way to get to know, the culture, how people are, and that's one of the main reasons. And another is like I want to be inspired by powerful women. So that's why I went.
Me too, right? Yeah. That's what Lead Up for Women is about.
Exactly.
About having that platform. So thank you so much again for attending today. And let me ask you, what were you inspired by today? What was the discussion, or what inspired you today?
Well, what inspired me today was when everyone was sharing their experiences, and it's like it was a different set from you to the first speaker and then to the Robin. So it was like the flow was what your experience you shared to us, and then with her how to basically handle situations so that you can become more successful in the workplace. So
tactical
steps. So the stories were inspiring, plus the advice. The advice were really helpful.
Right.
Yeah.
So what one would you say piece of advice did you remember and take from today that you want to start applying right away in your everyday work life? Or personal life.
Yeah, personal life. Basically, it's your worth. Because like as women, which is true, which is I'm also guilty of, although I don't feel like I'm not that worthy. But the thing is, sometimes it's harder for women to like assert themselves in terms of how much you're worth financially, or what you deserve in the workplace versus what you put in
Absolutely.
in the work. So because it's a woman, as a woman, sometimes that's discouraged. That's discouraged, and they expect you even to work harder than the men. So it's that's one thing that you I think you have to constantly apply it. It's not a one-time thing. It has to be always a conscious effort to always remind yourself that this is what you need to do. This is what you need to stand up for.
Right. Well, Anna, I want to thank you so much for being here at our New York City Luncheon. It was fabulous, and we're so happy you were able to attend.
Yeah, and thank you also for inviting me.
Yeah, and that you were able to have some takeaways from that.
Yep.
So thanks again so much for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Bye.
That was a great interview that I had with her. She is just the cutest thing. What she didn't explain in her interview was that she, is actually from another country, and she was saying that when she came here, in her country that she was in, I believe it was the Philippines, she was saying how it was equal, where a man or a woman, it didn't matter if you were a man or a woman, whoever applied for the job, the best one qualified got the position. And she was saying that she was so used to men and women being equal that when she came to America and started working here, she didn't understand the culture, and how she said she was surprised at we haven't disrupted yet the way that the culture is regarding a woman's role and a man's role.
Right, the workforce.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been something I think we've been dealing with for a long time in this country. However, all around the world, I was talking to somebody that was with the UN, and we're going to eventually have them on the show as well. But we were talking about the state of women, like all around the world in all these different countries, and there's so many different things that go on in the various countries. So, we're probably at a good space considering some of the things that women go through in other countries. But she's absolutely right. It is a difference, and it's something that in this country that we still struggle with in terms of equality with men, women, and race, all kinds of things. We study, we still kind of struggle with some of those isms.
Yeah, and when she mentioned about your worth and, women need to continue to be assertive, she's actually had to bring it down a notch, she said. But that brings me back again to Robin, when Robin mentioned about having like a Bible. She called it a Bible, and it's a journal that you can walk around with. I have one in my bag that I carry, and basically she said it's very important for you to remember and celebrate your successes and positive things that people have said about you, whether it be an email or a client or whatever it may be. She said, write it all down in this quote-unquote Bible, because as an actress, they all had one of these.
Right.
And it was who their character was. So, again, you will be surprised if you write down or take clippings or emails or whatever it is and put them all in a little journal, how awesome you really are.
That's true.
Because we tend to forget, right? Because we just keep moving on to the next thing and going to conquer that dream, and I've got this other task to do, or your life's too busy because you're changing diapers, and then you're running to work, and then you're dropping to daycare, and then you're volunteering at your church, and then I have a lot of friends that have this daily... we all do.
We do. It's a daily struggle with a lot of women based on where you are. It's the kids or the family, in general, or husband or work. It's always something. So we do struggle with trying to, pull all those things together to make everything happen. But I think the key is, we have to have a commitment, to it. And when it comes to us in business and leadership, we also have to have another commitment to that and find a way, hopefully, to balance all those things is what we really look to do. We try to find that way to balance, but sometimes you have to be your own cheerleader because you don't always have somebody there cheering you. So sometimes you've got, and that's why I like what Robin talks about, and she uses a lot of the things with acting, which is really good.
Yeah. Well, we're going to go to break right now, and when we come back, we have a couple more interviews, one with Cynthia Hurst and one with Stacy Brown. We'll see you back in a minute.
All right, great job. Good segment. We're all clear.
Hey, I just wanted to let you guys know that your messages are popping up in a box, but they're not actually staying on the screen.
Oh, my.
Oh, I see. It's probably...
Hi, Facebook Live. We're telling
Hi.
all the
This is this is what happens in the background
Behind
here
the
at the radio.
behind the scenes.
Yeah.
The magic.
That's why I wrote that down, so I know
the
you're not...
magic that we have. No,
Yeah, I'll do
I saw that and I'm like, okay.
We got notes going on over
we'll
here.
Wrap it, yeah, we'll
Got
get
all
it
kinds
wrapped
of
up,
stuff.
maybe.
Yeah, they're just popping on that box, but they're not actually giving me a
I
feed.
see.
Oh,
You guys say hi to Monk. Monk came in,
right
and Monk's
there.
our engineer. He's
Thank
coming in
you.
to make sure we're okay over here.
yeah.
Thank you, Monk.
All right, thanks. Mm-hmm. Okay, now I can
Keep
see
him
them
on
huh?
track, right?
Yeah, what would I do without him?
What will we do? That's what that's what the crew.
It's always who's behind the scenes that makes
live-
everyone look great that's
the
on
live
right?
crew back
It's the
there.
live crew in the back. Yeah.
The live crew, and then Ryan, our wonderful Ryan, always makes sure we have everything.
Hey, we just want to welcome, we have some watchers today, so hi Juanita
Hi,
Ray,
Facebook. Hi,
really
Juanita.
great friend of mine, hi Tricia Mayer, same thing out of
Hi,
California.
Tricia, how are you?
Hi Randy, nice to see you,
Hi,
friend of
Randy.
mine as well. And I believe we have Clary D's on the phone, or on the Facebook Live. So, hey you guys, we just want to say hi and thanks for joining us today on live on Facebook, and you get a little background of what's happening on the show.
All right, we are coming back.
/Voice America.
You are listening to Lead Up for Women. Speak up to lead up. To reach the show today, please call 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to info@leadupforwomen.com. Now, back to this week's show.
Hey there, listeners. We are back live. I am your host, Colleen Biggs, and I am here with my co-host, Dee Daniels. And we are live on Lead Up for Women, Speak Up to Lead Up. And today we are covering our luncheon that we had last week on Thursday, and it was a beautiful sunny day, by the way, in New York City. And yeah, it was really awesome. And we just listened to an interview from Anna. We have a couple more interviews to get to. And the first interview I wanted to get to is Cynthia Hurst. She's the president of Collaborative Design Strategies, and she just left corporate America and started her own business.
Good for
and
her.
She was there, and I'd like you guys to listen into what Cynthia had to say about the March luncheon and why she felt Robin Hatcher's keynote was extremely impactful for her. So if we could listen into Cynthia Hirsch's interview. All right, so we are now sitting down with Cynthia Hirsch with Collaborative Design Strategies. Cynthia is the president of this company, and thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time to be interviewed. I want to ask the first question, what prompted you to attend the Lead Up for Women luncheon today?
I am always intrigued and interested in anything that helps promote women in the industry and the growth of women and empowerment of women. I feel it's important and it needs to be addressed more frequently. So I always try to be involved in any type of women building events. So I was very happy to see that Lead Up for Women was doing this event here in New York City.
Great. Well, I'm happy that you were able to make it. And what would you say was a piece that that inspired you from today's event?
I just think Robin herself, she was very inspiring with her views and how she looks at life in general and how we as women should approach business and ourselves, how we present ourselves. All of that is so important in the growth of women.
Yeah, we were so lucky to have Robin Hatcher not only on a radio show last week, but also then to have her here at the Luncheon, and she's an inspiration to all of us. So what one tactical piece would you say that you've struggled with as being a woman in business that you feel you can apply? Of something that either another person in the room shared today or something that you have a takeaway? That's okay. You don't have to have the answer right away.
That's a great question. I would say, as a woman, there are so many struggles that we face, and so many of the women voice their struggles today and issues that they've had as far as being quiet and being in the corner and not being sure of how to express themselves. And I think that is a great takeaway. It was all the examples of people giving on how they have learned to express themselves, and Robin's examples of how to express yourself. I feel like that was a great takeaway from today's.
Yeah, I felt the discussion around you being labeled by how other people see you and how women don't market themselves enough. And I love the story that you shared. Are you comfortable sharing that story on the radio?
Sure.
Okay, great. So you had mentioned that you had put your name in the hat, in the ring for a position, and that position was not going to be given to you for a specific reason. Did you want to share that information with the rest of the group?
Sure. I was certainly the most qualified person to move up to a managerial position when it opened, and when I put my hat in the ring, I was automatically told that I had a young child at home, and my child had just been sick the day before, and I had to take the day off. And how could I manage a department if my department didn't come first, and I had to take days off for my child?
And this was a female leader.
This was a female CEO.
Correct? Yeah.
Yes. A female CEO said that.
So what did you do?
I responded with all of the reasons why I am qualified. The fact that, if my son got sick 2 or 3 times a year, I'm entitled to personal days to address those issues. And it doesn't stop me from doing my job, and it didn't keep me from doing my job. And I fought and I explained my knowledge and why I deserved the position. And I got it.
Congratulations. That is so awesome that you're an inspiration to me, and I know that you inspired other women in the room when you told that story. So thank you so much for being an advocate and standing up for yourself and fighting for what you want. I think as women, we need to negotiate for ourselves more, and that's a great message that you sent today. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
All right, Cynthia, thank you so much for being on the radio.
Thank you, Colleen.
All right, thank you. We're back live. What I learned from Cynthia in that interview was how it's important for women to stand together and empower each other. Empowered women need to empower women.
Absolutely.
Because it was a female CEO that denied her for the position at first because she had a child and was out of the office. I don't want that to exist in corporate America.
It's unfortunate because those types of situations do exist where sometimes the blocks that are in front of women are other women. And I think that tide is turning some, and we have to continue, to do that by coming together as women and empowering each other and trying to help each other to get to all those different steps and stages that we're trying to get to. And we have to come together as a group. Collectively, I think we're very powerful, very impactful. When we come together and do things, I think magic happens.
We're very powerful. You should have felt the emotion in the room at the AMA Conference Center was where we held it in New York City. It was right there in Times Square.
Right.
And it was the emotion in the room, how when Robin was speaking and she had asked, what's holding you back, and one of the girls or women, ladies in the room mentioned about not being able to say no, but, and working herself to death. But the other side of it was afraid when people tell her no. She's afraid that she's going to get a no and doesn't know how to handle it. Everybody in the room came to her support with ideas on how she can walk into a meeting expecting the yes, and not thinking that way when you get the no, you're like, what?
Devastated.
How did I get a no?
No.
So that would be something that was surprising to her, rather than feeling defeated and depleted, walking into the room expecting a no.
Right. And those happens, but I think that I always kind of look at no as an opportunity for you to figure out how to get a yes. And sometimes that's making some changes or, rearranging, detailing. You can't look at no as necessarily being negative. No is not negative. No is an opportunity for an
alternate way to do something.
Absolutely.
That's what it is. And why Lead Up for Women exists is so that we can provide that platform for women, just like this luncheon, for them to be in a room together and not have to keep recreating the wheel and not knowing how to get over that hurdle. Most of the women in the room have either already dealt with that, and they were giving inspiration and ideas to others in the room of how they can move themselves forward. They were leading from everywhere they were.
Everywhere. And that's how I think that is how we do become better, surrounding ourselves with women that have already kind of crossed some of these bridges. And then they can kind of hold your hand and say, hey, let me help you across here. And that's really what I think we've always talked about, women empowering each other more and trying to be supportive of each other. And we have to continue that.
We have another interview. We have an interview with Stacy Brown, Vice President of Strategic Planning with Global Facilities Management and Construction. And I'd like to go ahead and play that interview now. Listen in. Sitting down with Stacy Brown, and Stacy Brown is the Vice President of Strategic Planning with Global Facilities Management and Construction. Welcome, Stacy.
Thank you so much, Colleen.
Thanks for agreeing for us to interview you on the radio today, and it was so nice to meet you in person here at the luncheon. And I just wanted to ask you, what prompted you to attend the luncheon today?
I've become more and more involved in industry organizations. I'm finishing a 3-year term on the board of PRISM, Professional Retail Store Maintenance, and see that there is definitely still a need in the workplace and the industry for more women, more strong women to come up as managers, directors, vice president, and get involved and think it's okay to be involved. We still have difficulties finding women that want to be on the board and want to say, I can do this and I can do it all. So that was it.
That's great.
Want to get more women in.
Well, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for being an advocate for women and wanting to be able to reach out and help more with women. What inspired you today in the luncheon?
Robin inspired me. The way she spoke about body language and mirroring and lifting each other up. It's so important in the workplace and just in life to do that. Everyone has a struggle that we don't see, we don't know. I mean, men too, of course, but especially women. They try to mask it and show that everything is fine all the time, and it's not. And we need to bring each other up instead of pull them down or be catty and try to hurt each other.
I agree. Instead of using other women as stepping, stones, or we need to be able to elevate each other and lead and support each other.
Absolutely.
Elevate each other. So that's great. Thank you. What is a struggle that you have as a woman in your industry? Because you're in the industry of facilities management and construction, and I came from that industry, and I know how tough that industry can be. So what are some struggles that you have as a woman?
I'd say coming through, I've been on all sides of the industry, on the retail side and real estate and construction and facilities, as well as the technology side and now the contractor side. There can be a struggle when you walk in the room to be taken seriously until you show that you have the experience, you have the knowledge and the background, that when they look at a man versus a woman, they automatically assume you're there to take notes or you were there for an another reason, not you are there because you have the experience and you can add the value and the relationships as well as the knowledge to the meeting.
That's so true, isn't it? Do you have an experience when that happened to you?
Through the years, I would say I definitely have. Luckily, not so much lately. I'm fortunate to work for a certified women-owned business, and there are more women in our executive management and in management overall. But certainly still I'll walk into a meeting or a room, and the expectation is not that the woman is going to be leading the meeting, that the woman is there as a support mechanism to a man in the meeting, and that's not the case.
Right. And so how do you think your organization, since it is predominantly women-led and owned, how do you think that the business that you work for is different than the traditional corporate America, where we have a very low percentage of women in high powerful executive positions?
It's definitely correct, and it's how I took my journey, actually. I was working in the retail, real estate and construction world, as you were, and commuting to New York City when I had my daughter, and I was told, and it was an all-boys club, you have to be here. You have to be here all the time, when the truth was you didn't have to be there. What we were building was across the country. What we were doing was anywhere and anything, but they wanted to make you in the office in a suit every day, and that wasn't for me. So my journey started and windows and doors opened. What's different in the company I'm with today is that they like to be surrounded by strong women. They listen to the women, they listen to the different ideas. We can passionately debate and walk out of the room and be on the same page. And we respect each other.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that, and thank you for being here with us. It was an inspirational day. It was wonderful. I'm glad that you're walking away with being inspired and tactical steps of what you can do to apply it to your work life every day, Stacy. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
See you soon. All right, that was a great interview, wasn't it?
It was. She touched on some really important things. She talked about her board positions, and that was something, I've always thought that women needed to be in more powerful positions, and they need to, seek out board positions and really get involved at more so having kind of a course to get onto that C level.
Yeah.
And some of that is preparing by doing some groundwork and, sitting on boards and becoming more active, within your organization and such. And I got to say hi to Mike Brown. Hi, Mike Brown.
Yeah, and Liz Ackerman joined us. We've got Curall Plumbing on there. That might actually be.
Loving
thanks everyone for joining us today. We appreciate that. We were just going through some interviews from our March luncheon of the inspiration that they all received while they were there. And, it was interesting to me that she said we need more women leaders because in the beginning, Sabina Ramsey actually stood up and spoke a little bit about statistics. Okay, say that word 5 times fast. Sorry about that. I'm spitting all over myself. And she was saying of the Fortune 500 companies that only 24 are female CEOs, which is less than 5%.
Those are the numbers.
I have to tell you, the whole reason why we are doing Lead Up for Women, the whole reason why we are out there spreading the word and providing platforms all across the United States. We have 10 more luncheons to go. We just updated them on the website. Go to www.leadupforwomen.com/events and go look at all the dates. I have to tell you, we are doing this to change that number.
You have to, and the only way we're going to change that number is to come together. First of all, we have to realize that number exists, and I mean, come on, we've been talking about, cracking that glass ceiling, breaking it and all that, but, there's steps, and those steps include we have to come together to help other women. I mean, it's the only way it's going to happen, so I'm excited about us with, we have the Scottsdale conference coming up, but then Atlanta will be next.
In May.
Chicago, which which is my hometown, Chicago. So I know you guys are gonna just show out, and Atlanta too. I've got a lot of friends and business people all around. So we're really excited about these different events.
Yeah, and I think the key that I've found so far, we have one more interview left after break.
Yeah.
But there's, the key that I've found between all of these interviews thus far is really that they all are speaking from the same voice of women need to be there for other women, and we need more women leaders in more companies. And there was even discussion in the room about how to become how to go up the ranks, and so we'll talk about that when we come back.
All right, nicely done. All clear. Back in about 2.
Thank you.
Yay!
Hey,
You're so
Facebook friends.
Hi,
Desiree.
Facebook. How are you guys doing?
Thanks for joining me today, Desiree. So glad to see you.
Hi, Desiree. How are you?
My daughter Bill is on the phone watching us today.
Hi,
hey there,
Bill.
girl.
How are you?
She does some work behind the scenes.
She does. She's
awesome.
Helping us with her social media here.
We love her. Thanks everyone for joining us today. These are some really great interviews.
So Facebook, how are you guys doing today? What are you up to? Are you guys at work with your phones at the bottom of your under the desk trying to text us? What are you doing? Tell me what you guys are out there doing.
Or better yet,
sneaking these posts.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Feel free to share with us what your struggles are. We would love to be able to answer those on the live on the radio.
And share the video, you guys. Share this interview with your pages, and
for all those ladies on the Facebook Live, our goal is to reach as many ladies as we possibly can to change those numbers. I'm here to change the world, Dee.
Yes, we are changing the world.
We are. We already have started.
One lady at a time.
Yeah. Yes. Definitely.
All right, stand by. We are coming back.
Okay. We're going to be coming back from break here in a minute. Hang in there with us, Facebook friends.
You are listening to Lead Up for Women. Speak up to lead up. To reach the show today, please call 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to info@leadupforwomen.com. Now, back to this week's show.
Hey there, all of our listeners. Again, my name is Colleen Biggs. I'm your host.
And I am Dee Daniels, co-hosting.
Yes, and we are here recapping the March luncheon that we just had last week in New York City, and want to talk a little bit more about the luncheon we have coming up here in just a few weeks, so that everyone can jump on board and get your tickets before they sell out. I know they're going to sell out quick, so we were just talking about how women need to empower women, and the interviews we've listened to thus far are really about how we need more women as on boards, for advisory boards. We need more women in leadership positions, but we also need to have women that support other women and aren't blocking other women. This isn't a what do you want to call it? It's not about stepping on other people as you're climbing the ladder. It's about leadership. Really, to me, the servant leadership is really about the end game and bringing people with you. And the larger our tribe becomes, the more women we can bring with us and to change.
And that's true. And another thing I want to say, because we talk a lot about women, and we obviously are all about empowering women. But I do have to say this because many men have been impactful in my career as well as yours.
Yes.
And we have some wonderful men that support us right now in doing this. David is one of those men, as well as our wonderful photographer over here.
You can't see him, but he's around.
Right, and I think that's important to mention. We're about empowering women, but there are also men that are out here doing the same thing and being supportive and asking where they can lend that hand to help you to get to where you're trying to go. So I think that's very important for us to mention as an organization.
We're going to have some men on the show.
Absolutely,
because there's been some, like you had mentioned, there's been some men that were my mentors, my sponsors, and I wouldn't have grown and developed to the person I am today without their help. And maybe I never would have stepped out to be able to start this movement and start this business, Lead Up for Women, and for us to really think that I could put on a different personal avatar that could change the world. I mean, honestly, that's where they were help to me. And not to mention the men that support the women that do have the careers. We need to talk about those men too, because
you can do it.
We're going to have those men on the show. They are the biggest advocates for their wives who go off to work every day that have a career while they hold things down at home, and they are so important in the growth for women. Yes, super dads. All right, so we have one last interview we want to get to. Her name is Wendy Liu, and she is an independent retailer. She was awesome. Very shy. She did not want to go on the radio, and I begged her. She is just so cute. When you go onto our website, www.leadupforwomen.com, you'll be able to see all the photos from the luncheon. But let's go ahead and listen into what Wendy Liu had to say.
Yes.
All right, so I am sitting here with Wendy Corson Liu at the Lead Up for Women Luncheon in New York City. Wendy, thanks for joining me today.
You're welcome.
And thank you for agreeing to have me interview you for the radio.
You're very welcome.
And for those of you that can't see Wendy, I complimented her earlier. She has the most gorgeous short haircut. I love it. And I just think you are so elegant and beautiful.
Oh, you're sweet.
And I wanted to compliment you for that. So, Wendy, what do you do? Why do you do what you do? What do you do?
I do that because I love fashion. I've always liked fashion.
Yeah.
And one of the funny things that happened at the event today was when they were saying, what were you doing when you were 8 years old? And I immediately thought back. I was playing in my aunt's closet playing shoe store, which I eventually owned a shoe store.
That is so awesome. I know I was struggling to think back, like, what was I doing at 8? I think I literally was singing to my stuffed animals. I'm not a singer, but I was singing to my stuffed animals in my room. I'm thinking that's what I was doing at 8. I don't remember.
I'm just thankful I can remember.
Yeah, I know. I struggle with that, so it made me feel really old. So tell me, what prompted you to attend? How did you hear about the Lead Up for Women Luncheon? What prompted you to attend?
I got an email from my brother,
Yeah.
and he thought that it would be something that I would be interested in. I would find maybe some good insight for the second half of my career.
That's great. And second half of your career is?
I'm a diehard retailer. I've worked with many corporate stores.
Yeah.
That's what I'm pursuing at the moment.
That's what you're pursuing at the moment. Well, thank you to your brother for sending you the email to get you here. And tell me, what inspired you today, or what?
Give us the countdown.
What one or two things, or share? Please feel free to share.
Then we need to start.
What do you feel like you're walking away with from today?
I love the
Facebook. How are you?
listening to Robin speak today.
Are you guys sharing this
about
video?
How she was so shy, and that really
have to let
resonated
all
with
the
me.
women know about Lead Up.
Welcome, J.A. Morrell.
Be shy, and sometimes I don't think I have the
Glad you guys are watching today.
Hi, you guys.
Good stuff.
Yeah. So, did that inspire you to maybe look at your pursuit in retail a little bit differently? And did you feel like you walked away with?
Pursue it differently, but I think I will think about how I answer questions to people when they ask them of me, and I did take away quite a bit today.
Good
stuff.
When we did the icebreaker, Did you get a chance to meet anyone?
I did. I collected about 8 business cards.
Yeah?
So that was good.
Good.
Some nice ladies.
Networking's really a great way to meet people, and then it's our responsibility at that point. It means nothing if you just meet them, walk away, and never connect with them again. So I think continuing to stay connected with women, because it really is all about the relationships we build throughout our lives and who we know. Not all of it is about what we know, but who we know.
Sure.
Because they can get you out of a pickle sometimes when you can call in a favor with someone.
Absolutely.
But staying connected gives you opportunities to just to build stronger relationships with women. And I think as women, to elevate each other, that's a very important piece. Yeah. Well, I want to thank you so much for being here today and for trusting in us here in New York City and coming to our luncheon. And I'm so happy that you walked away with something to inspire you.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we are back live, and that was a great interview with Wendy, and I just want to say hi to Paige, who is listening on the radio as well. Welcome, Paige, to Facebook Live. Thanks for joining us today. You know, when Robin asked, what were you doing at the age of 8? And she said I was playing with my shoes in my closet. Now she, works in the retail business with shoes, and so it was really interesting because I couldn't connect. I really couldn't think back that far to where I was 8, right?
I was doing an 8.
Yeah, and
probably writing because I was a writer, so more than likely I was somewhere. Actually, I know I was writing probably.
Yeah, I'm glad she brought up. I'm glad we talked a little bit about the icebreaker, because part of these platforms that we create and the luncheons that we do in all of the different cities. Again, if you want to see where all of our events are, please go to www.leadupforwomen.com/events. Because the icebreaker is a networking opportunity at every luncheon, and the icebreaker just really gets you up and moving around to meet, like speed meeting all of these women and having business cards to trade those and building your portfolio of contacts. I can tell you from books and books and books that I've read that building a portfolio of contacts and having thousands of people that you stay and then scheduling a little bit of time to just reach out to some people every once in a while and stay connected with them, whether that be on social media, via email, text, call, whatever it is, you will need to reach out to them someday, or they'll reach out to you because they need something someday, or they're going to connect you to someone because they know somebody. Does that make sense? That the networking is so crucial. The relationship building, just building those close, strong connections, and that's what we do. This is from the heart. I mean, truly from my soul of what I am passionate about and believe in is serving and helping other people.
Likewise. That's when, you and I talked about this and doing the show and different things. One of the reasons that I really wanted to do it was because I've always had a mission of impacting and trying to be of service to women and helping them in areas that sometimes were not areas that they were very active in, you know, and so the radio show obviously is a great way for us to do it, as well as these events. Like we have Scottsdale coming up in April, and then there's Chicago. So if you're in Chicago, Dallas, all these other cities, go to the website, leadupforwomen.com. Make sure that you register for one of the events. Also, make sure you become a member. We have membership, and we're doing things all around. You'll get, the newsletter, and we have a magazine. So just get involved with us. Find out what we're doing, and just, get on board.
Let's talk about who our lineup is. We have a pretty powerful lineup for our luncheon is April 25th. We're holding it at the Courtyard Marriott in the Salt River Field, so it's on Pima Road. You can go onto our website and register for the event, or you can register through Eventbrite. Either way, you can go register for the event. And what is great about this event is we have Audrey Monell, who is the president of Forrest Anderson Plumbing and Air Conditioning. She was recently named 2019 Outstanding Woman in Business. Who wouldn't want to show up to hear what she has to say? Right?
Absolutely.
So we have her. We have Deborah Bateman, Vice Chairman at National Bank of Arizona. She epitomizes achievement. And by the way, listen to the show every week, because between now and the luncheon on April 25th on a Thursday, every week on a Wednesday, we're going to be interviewing different women from the panel. And women that are going to be attending the luncheon. We have Vanessa Siren. Vanessa Siren is a yoga teacher. She's a model. She has quite the portfolio out there. Super powerful, energizing woman that just takes the reins and gets what she wants. Love her. Coming from a different country and having to learn English and everything that she went through. Yeah. And then our other panel member that we've got is Janice Jackson. And she is the president of sales and marketing over Plexus. Plexus is a big company here in Arizona, and she is going to be there as well. And you know, she's in sales. So what a great opportunity for any of you who are in business development to be able to come and learn from these panel members that we have that are going to be at our event.
Right.
So we'll talk a little bit real quick about how that day is going to run. So we've got the icebreaker, then we've got lunch that's going to be served as part of the registration. You can bring your friends. I always recommend coming with friends and colleagues because, you know, for some people, stepping into a luncheon where they don't know anyone can be a little daunting. We don't want you to feel that way. But we definitely feel like you need to, invite your friends and do what it is that you need to do. But get signed up today before those seats sell out. For all of you on Facebook Live as well, as you share this, make sure you get registered for that event. So now we're going to tell you how you can reach us. We're on all the social media handles.
Absolutely. LeadUpForWomen.com, first of all, is the site. You can find us at Facebook.com/LeadUpForWomen. Also, we are at Twitter, Lead Up for Women, and LinkedIn, Lead Up for Women. So, Instagram, Lead Up for Women. So, follow us on all of those places and see
That's where you find out about all of our events and what we're doing, and if we have last-minute specials, if we have discounts for registrations for the luncheon. You know, we've got our big event coming up. We're locking down the venue now for March 25th. So I just wanted to wrap up this week and thank everyone for joining us. Hey, Deidre, it's good to see you on Facebook Live.
Hi, Deidre.
And please tune in next week where we have an interview from one of the panel members. But I want all of you to remember that you are the only you that has ever been, and you are the only you that will ever be. So how you pioneer your future, that personal avatar is up to you. Don't wait for somebody to give you permission to lead.
Absolutely.
You have to take the reins for yourself, and we are all about hashtag lead without permission. So we are done for today, and we want to thank everybody, all of our listeners out there, our Facebook Live, for joining us, and we will see you all next week.
Next Wednesday.
All right, next Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
All right, great job, good show. We're all clear.
Thank you. All right, to all of our Facebook friends that are live.
Hi, you guys. All of our live Facebook friends. You guys were amazing.
Thanks for joining us today. Yeah.
Come back.
Yeah, come back and share our show, and go on to Voice America Empowerment Channel and look up Lead Up for Women and
thank
click.
you to our amazing team of engineers back there, because they make us look really
good. Well, Dee makes me look good. You know how that works. All right, you guys, I want to thank you for joining us today. Say bye to our viewers.
All right, bye, you guys. See you next week.